Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We are in the back country of Audubon County, Iowa. This is where the rural county of Audubon started. Nathaniel Hamlin is the first person to have built a structure in this county, and he actually built it right over that hill over yonder, and he's buried at that cemetery over there, but that's not what we're here to look at. Today's motorcycle is this Honda 250 Rally. I think it's a 2018. A friend of mine lent me this for the day. It's got some really cool features. I've been driving around the backside here, but first off is how you get on it. I think it's got a 35-inch seat, something like 895 millimeters. So you get on it, you throw a leg over it. Now watch this. When you straighten it up, it kind of sinks down. Put the stand down, and then we'll start this hot rod up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to show you something. The blinkers, check it out. They're right at the top. Right there and right there. Now why is that important? Well, that's because I'm notorious for leaving my blinkers on when I go riding, so never trust a motorcycle blinker. Right there is a sign. Let's get a little closer to that. Landmark tree. So the tree in the middle of the road was a surveyors about 150 years ago were surveying the land out here. They stuck a stick in the ground in the middle of the road. That's the story anyway. And they left it, and 150 years later, it's still there. Let's go see if we can find it. This little hot rod has 249 cc's, dual overhead cam, single cylinder, liquid cooled. It's really a neat bike. 6-speed transmission. I think it's 24 horsepower and about 16.5 foot-pounds of torque. It loves to be over 7,000 RPM. I think that's about 22 Newton meters, by the way. Makes a lot of noise. It's got an aftermarket pipe. I'll show you that when we get to the location. So this cemetery is kind of hollowed ground. Well, all cemeteries are, but this one, you can't, no more can be placed in here. I think this is one of the first cemeteries in Audubon County. And there was a scarlet fever or some sort of outbreak epidemic, and a whole mess of people died in a very short amount of time, and they buried them without markers, or the markers were wood, and they don't know where they're all buried, so they don't want to let anybody be buried there anymore. They don't want to upset a previous grave. Again, this is rural Audubon County. We're in the very southern part of the county. The reason they settled here first was there was actually a lot more down here. There was timber down here. The north end of the county had nothing but grasslands, which is great if you're running cows, and that's what they did over yonder. Trying to take it gentle here. It's got a 3-inch by 21-inch front tire, and I think the rear is a 120, 80, 18, and it spins. Now we're going to try this road up here. I'm not sure if it's passable. If it's dry, we can do it. If it's not, then we'll do something else. Kind of the edge of the world here out here. Very remote. That's going to be the last house for a while. Well, it looks dry, but I've been fooled by this before. What happens is the dirt on top dries, and the stuff below is still mud. Now, there was an old bridge out here. That may or may not be there anymore. I already talked about the seat height. The other thing is the bike isn't a 300 pounds. I think it's like 350 pounds wet with a full tank of fuel. I think he said this one has an extra large fuel tank, but I'm not sure about that. They've done a bunch of add-ons, and we'll go over that here in a minute. Beautiful, beautiful. We call this a Class B road. This bike has 11 inches of travel on the front and about 10.3 on the rear. You all probably didn't notice that, but the front wheels did come off the ground just for a minute. Check out this little bridge. Hey, blue heron over yonder flying up the way. This is about as rural. Look at those nails that are all bent over there in the wood. This is about as rural Audubon County as you can get. Audubon County is a rural county already. One of the smallest counties in Iowa. And this is a very rural part of that county. Great for motorcycle riding. Wahoo! I looked at the size of the fuel tank of this hot rod, And I found a couple different numbers, and like I said, I think this one's been updated or changed. I'm not sure about that, but it's a very good looking bike. I think the numbers I found were something like 2.7 gallons or 3.4, depending on the model. This is a rally model. Now, is it over this hill or over the next one is our goal. Da, 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 there it is. The tree in the middle of the road. I grew up just miles from this. Maybe a dozen miles, maybe more, 15. And we always think of this as very unique, and it is. It's the only one in the state of Iowa. And I was talking to my good buddy Everett one day, and he's from northwest Missouri, and he tells me they have one of these just a few miles from where he lives. And someday we're going to go down there and check it out. When it's wet, this is a treacherous place to get to, even on this gravel. Look at that thing. I think I measured it one time, maybe 10 years ago, and it was 28 feet in diameter, or in circumference, not diameter. That'd give it a circumference of over 7 feet. You know, let's park this hot rod and get out and take a look at it. Now, every time I come out here, there's always somebody shows up, so do not be surprised. All right, y'all, I just got the camera out and somebody showed up right away. I told you that somebody'd be out here. All right, what the bike is, it's a 2018, I believe, Honda CRF 250 Rally. Check that out. Neat little hot rod. It's been modified a little bit. We'll go over that here in a little bit. That's a 249cc single cylinder, dual overhead cam, 4 valve per cylinder, little hot rod, little radiator tucked away back there. 6-speed transmission. Engine makes about 24 horsepower, 16.6 foot-pounds of torque, 22.5 Newton meters. Front tire is a 3x21. Back tire is a 120/80/18. It's got a 296 millimeter disc on the front. Check that hot rod out. Dual piston caliper. I'm not sure what brand that is. Really neat Öhlins forks. Wow, look at those. They're 43 millimeter upside down forks. Travel on the front is 279 millimeters. That's about 11 inches. On the rear, it's got a monoshock buried in there somewhere. It's the right color to be an Öhlins. I don't know if it is. 10.3 inches of travel. That is about 262 millimeters. Seat height is 35.2 inches. That's 894 millimeters. Almost the tallest bike. I've been on some a couple inches taller. Wheelbase 57.3 inches. That's 1455 millimeters. Ground clearance, and this is awesome, 10.6 inches or 269 millimeters. Wet weight, and this is wet weight. This is amazing to me. 342 pounds. That's 155 kilograms. That's my spec sheet. So it's got some numbers, some serious numbers. It's a serious machine. He rides it quite a bit. He likes it a lot. He's got his other motorcycle is a big Indian Chief. Oh, look at this, rear foot pegs. That'd be a challenge for the passenger, wouldn't it? For a passenger to get on. Just a brilliant little machine. You know, I don't have the disc size for the rear. Well, maybe I do. Let me look. It is a 220 millimeter. I think I might have said that. Disc on the rear. Single piston caliper. It says Nissan. Aluminum swing arm. Just check that out. There's the master cylinder for the rear brake. Look at that. He's got engine guards here. Hand guards. Aftermarket grips. I think these are aftermarket bars as well. Looks like a stock seat, a little tail cover there. Not sure what this is. Quiet technology. That's almost funny. Quiet technology. I'm betting you that's a tail tidy on the rear. Just look at all the goodies this thing has. Loads of fun. Loads of fun. Headlight cover. I like it. Let's jump up here to the dash area. Now I was really impressed with this. I think I pointed it out earlier. The blinkers were up here. All the idiot lights are up here. It's got a tack up here, fuel gauge over here, speedometer, clock, and then trip meters. There's no gear indicator or anything like that. And you know, on this bike you just keep the RPMs high, 7,000-8,000 or greater. Pretty nifty. I think you could mount a Garmin here or GoPro or whatever you wanted. The mirrors are set for him. I haven't messed with them, but they do seem to work pretty good. Switch gear is high lows, hazards, horn. Honda always puts the horn above the blinkers, it seems. Blinkers, kill switch, start switch, fuel, of course. Lots of nifty stuff. It's a fun bike. Look how tall that kickstand is. It's a real fun bike. It's especially fun to get it off. I get a kick out of these things, you know. Some people always Captain Morgan, you know, they step on the foot peg with their left foot to throw the leg over, and and do that. But what a deal, huh? What a deal. So this tree, I'm not sure what kind of tree this is. I'm gonna guess it's a cottonwood. I'm gonna call it that. How's that? If I'm wrong, y'all put in the comments below. Been here for at least 150 years. There's a couple stories on how it got here. I think I mentioned already the old surveyor story, and it's pretty famous. They used to have barricades around it. You know, there's somebody came over the hill one day and ran into it. It's got some history to it. I'm sure it's seen some amazing things under this canopy of its leaves. Look at that bike. Isn't that pretty? It's, like I said again, we're also in a very rural part of this county. The locals that live around here used to take the signs. There's signs that guide you out here. The locals would take the signs closest to the trees out here because they didn't want anybody mucking around in their neighborhood, you know, as if they own the public property out here. Now that road is the road we came down. That's a Class B road. I think we'll go out this way. There's a Class B road way over yonder, and I think we'll hit that too. Look at our corn. It's just getting ready to harvest. Everything's just starting to turn. You know, I should say closer to harvest, another month or so. Beans over here. If you're in Iowa, that means something to you. Oh, here, there you go. Very hilly, very rugged county. So when Nathaniel Hamlin moved to this county, he settled over yonder. There's a big timber over here. There was the only crossing over this waterway over here. I think it's Troublesome Creek. It was the only there were two hard bottoms. A hard bottom is a place you can get a wagon over. It's stone usually. In the whole county, and he set up a camp right next to this one. And he made a living with a restaurant, a supply store, and all kinds of other things. Who knows what else. Very industrious guy. And I believe that this county should be called Hamlin County. And apparently I'm the only one that believes that. Now the reason I think that is, he came from nobody and came up here. He had all the struggles, all the strife, made a living here, you know, died a very wealthy man for the time in this county. And he did it through ingenuity and hard work. The county is named after John James Audubon, and it was named in 1851. The county needed to name, the people, the legislators in the offices up in Des Moines needed to name the county, and they decided John James Audubon had died that year. They're going to name the county after him. He's never been here. He doesn't know anything about this place, but yet he's got the county to himself. And I don't think that's quite fair. There's my rant for the day, the fuzzy biker rant and history lesson all in one. But you know what? I think I'm going to hop on that beautiful little motorcycle. And it is a beauty. It's a fun one to ride. And go ride, my friends. If y'all can do it, get out there and do it yourselves. Life is good. Get out and ride. Wahoo! Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Down the road we go. Beautiful, beautiful machine.